Hey guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
And I'm William Bibiani with Crave Online. Hey, Chris Parnell.
I'm Chris Parnell with Chris Parnell.
and you have a new show, Chris Parnell.
I do. Peabody and Sherman.
Yeah.
Mr. Peabody and
cool.
Sherman. It is cool.
Yeah.
And that premieres October 9th.
October 9th on Netflix.
Neat.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're getting a whole bunch of it all at once?
You're getting 13. And this, we haven't announced when season 2 starts, but we've already recorded that next 13 and we're on to the following 13. So
Now this is we were talking before. This is a dramatically different Peabody and Sherman. We haven't seen, because usually it was like a Doctor Who thing. We're going to go back in time, make a lot of puns, run away from some Greeks, and then
there
cut
is
to Dudley Do Right.
There is some of that. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean we go back in time. There are bad puns. There's ridiculousness. But now Peabody and Sherman have a talk show, a late night talk show in their New York penthouse. So we have these people who live in the building who are crazy, and then we bring people from the past on there. Sherman has Sherman's Corner. There's always something going wrong and amazing things happening in the studio. And then we have our time travel segment where we tell the story that we've gone back in time and visited an historical character and what happens with that.
Who's your dream historical character? Like, who have you not done it who you think would be really fun?
Well, I don't know. I think it'd be really fun to do Jesus, but I don't know how much comedy you could get out of that.
I think we could make that work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Depends on when you land.
Right.
Depends on when you get there.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning, it'd be pretty amazing. I think Monty Python, the opening of
Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Life of Brian,
Yeah. That's Capricorn, isn't it? Yes. Good times.
So you already recorded season 2. When did you guys start recording?
Oh, over a year ago. You know how it is with animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you guys in the booth together, or is it, you get to do it as a group?
Most of the time we're in there together. Me and Max Charles, who plays Sherman, who's amazing. A real kid. I mean, he's 11 now, I think, but he's so good. And so we get to play off each other, and then we have these amazing guest actors who come in like every week. And we've got the people in the apartment building. We've got our landlord, Mr. Hobson, who's very uptight, played by Dieter Jansen. And then we've got our neighbor, Christine, who's very bubbly, who loves to sing and is very annoying, played by Divine Joy Randolph, and just an amazing parade of guest stars.
Good times.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's kind of it's definitely a nod to the original Jay Ward cartoon. It's not really connected to the movie at all, except it's the same characters, and Max Charles is the same Sherman. But yeah, it's a very different take, and it's zanier and more fun. It's sort of old school looking animation, But I think people are going to dig it.
It's interesting to have another. Our theme today is time travel, and a part of it's not just because of Peabody and Sherman, but Rick and Morty is a fun time travel show these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess they travel in time, but I feel like that's more of a interdimensional multiverse reality travel thing, which can necessarily also involve time. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm proud to be a part of that too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So our theme is time travel. So we should talk about that?
Yeah, I think all of us have a couple cool
Favorites?
time travel stories we wanted to throw out.
Time travel
Stories, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all traveled
tell you
in
about
time.
Friday.
Yeah. That's what I was doing
Traveling
this
back in
weekend.
Yeah. All right. But no, we wanted to share some of our favorite time travel things because time travel's fun when it's stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the coolest things about time travel is that it can be very funny. And I was trying to think of an example. I was going to talk about one. There's a Red Dwarf episode called Backwards. I'm actually not going to talk about that, but check it out. It's on Hulu. It's a backwards world. It's very cool. Twilight Zone episode called Once Upon a Time is one of my favorite time travel episodes, and it stars Buster Keaton as
That's a great one.
a janitor, and it's a silent film, and he puts on this time travel helmet and he goes to present day, which is then the 60s. And then it's a regular Twilight Zone episode. But whenever he travels through time, the media of the show itself transforms to fit. So cool. And that's just always been one of the coolest time travel stories for me, because I think on a certain level, every story is a time travel story. You're taking time and you're compressing it to fit. You're removing elements. More often than not, you're going out of order. You're changing things around.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I was thinking about TV shows and movies, and obviously Doctor Who is something that I love. And there's 5 zillion different things that they've done. I don't know that there's a particular storyline that I love, but I was also thinking about, and everyone will be shocked because this is not a geek film at all, but Somewhere in Time.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I've never seen it. All I know is that it looks like there's a lot of like Sybil Shepherd filters on it. It looks very romantic.
It is very glowy, and it is maybe one of the few non-geek things that I love. But it's really good. And then Scrooged. I like Scrooged.
Well, every Christmas Carol is a time travel movie, and
Yes,
it took
but
Doctor Who to make me
Scrooge-
realize that.
But Scrooged is
I've never
the
thought
best.
of it that way.
Scrooged is the best.
Scrooge is a lot of fun.
It's fun. Don't vex me, Frank. I'm sorry. I just had to do that. I'm fine now.
Well, one of my favorites of all time is actually Time After Time.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when people's eyes light up when you bring up Time
Yeah.
After
Oh,
Time.
yeah.
It's a movie people don't talk about very much, but as soon as it comes up, everyone's
I
like,
love
awesome.
that movie.
It stars Malcolm McDowell as H.G. Wells, who, before he became a published author, built a time machine, and then Jack the Ripper stole it and went to the 70s, and H.G. Wells has to find him in the 70s,
Of course.
which he assumes is a utopia. And it is great.
It's great.
It's from the director of Wrath of Khan. Like, that's how great it is.
Nicholas Meyer.
Yeah, Nicholas Meyer. Funny guy.
David Warner, Mary
Yes.
Steenburgen.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
It is amazing.
I like it because there's a lot of things like he comes in, he puts on the alias that he's Sherlock Holmes, thinking no one will remember this obscure character from the late 19th century, and everyone's like, "Really, Sherlock Holmes? That's funny." What about you? What are your favorite time travel things?
Well, that's one for sure. I liked the Time Machine with Guy Pearce that was out not that long ago. I can't say it's a great movie in the canon of time travel films, but I like sci-fi and I like time travel, so that was a recent one I enjoyed.
Why the Guy Pearce one? Because that made a lot of changes. I think a lot of people would sort of prefer like the George Powell version.
Right.
Yeah. What did you like about the Guy Pearce one in particular?
I liked the darkness of it. I liked these awful beings. I liked the head baddie who was Jeremy
Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Thank you.
More like Matt.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was fun. I'm not smart enough to tell you why. I just liked it. It was fun. There was this little indie movie called Primer that I thought was really cool. These guys who built like a time machine in their garage, and it was.
It's like the most complicated time travel movie ever. Like you can't watch that movie. You don't know that movie if you watched it once.
Yeah.
There are like whole websites dedicated to trying to figure out the incredibly complicated chronology of Primer.
Yeah, it's very complex.
I recommend it and I don't.
I do think it's neat though that sort of as a collective pop consciousness, our understanding of time travel has changed
Yeah.
to the degree that you don't need to spend so much saying, "Oh, we built this machine. Here's how it works."
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great movie, but Butterfly Effect is a movie where
Yeah.
he just has the ability to travel through time. That's where the movie starts, and you move on from there.
Yeah.
saw that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning actually, and it's not a great movie, but it is well done. I guess that's
It's
sort of
Pretty,
hard to-
right?
It feels
is.
like an Outer Limits episode that got a little like out of hand and
Yeah.
didn't need to be in like a feature-length film, but
But I was interested through
I-
the entire thing.
I like your comment about how like we're sort of used to the idea of time travel because I saw one of my favorite time travel movies wasn't made that long ago was Time Crimes, directed by Nacho Vigalondo. Great movie, holy cow! But it's about a guy who knows nothing about like the time travel thing today. So a lot of it is him trying to figure out this enormous paradox he's found himself into, but he's not smart and he's not a geek. It's not like, at the beginning of any movie, like, this is Back to the Future rules of time travel. And all of us would be like, oh, okay, all right, fine. Yeah. Or it'd be like, oh, it's Time Rider rules. We didn't see that one. Oh, Looper rules. You can do all these things.
I have an
This guy
issue
knows
with
nothing,
Looper.
he gets stuck.
That's just that it was the way that they did the makeup. Because if they shot him with the light coming down, the nose would have looked right. But they shot it up and it looked off, and I had issues. But okay, so I kind of like time travel that you don't really have to worry about rules so much, like Groundhog Day.
Sure, Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. I cannot not watch that movie when it's on. I am compelled. I don't know why.
It's very winning.
It
just sucks you in.
It's not even that great a movie. I just cannot stop watching
Groundhog Day
it.
is a fantastic film.
Thank you for saying that.
No, Groundhog Day is really popular actually with Buddhists. That a lot of people believe that the philosophy of Groundhog Day is the Buddhist philosophy of
never thought about
you
that.
live your life over and over until you get it right.
Son of a gun.
All of a sudden, I feel very smart for watching this movie.
It's actually one of my favorite shows of all time is Quantum Leap.
I love Quantum
which I also very recently discovered is very big with Christians. Like,
Really?
there's a big like Midwestern just we love Quantum Leap, and it's sort of nice because it is the idea of this guy that is completely altruistic who just wants to make the universe a better place and is going to just go through one by one and fix things.
Quantum Leap is one of those shows where like they're rebooting everything. How have they not rebooted Quantum Leap?
Don't
true.
say that.
How have they not? But how is it
Someone
not come
will
up?
hear you.
You would think that it'd just be like, yeah, Michael Bay is rebooting Quantum Leap. It's going to be nuts. I would pay to see that. That sounds awesome. What about here's the thing. We talk about all these things we've seen. What's out there that we want to see that we haven't?
Oh, I have one that I love. I just read the first 2 books in the Queen of the Tearling series. It's sort of it feels like a medieval thing where a young girl is found and she's the heir to the throne, except that there's time travel in it and it's way more complicated. It has sort of, I don't know if anyone's read The Handmaid's Tale, but it has this really sort of creepy dystopian, odd things are happening to women future. And Emma Watson had talked about possibly doing this film a little while back. I'm not sure now, but I saw it on a shelf in the bookstore and it said, as good as Harry Potter. And I was like, well, I'll bite.
Yeah.
And I read both of them in one day. And it just,
Wow.
it's, oh my gosh, so good. Write faster. I need the third one.
I'm sick and tired of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic creators teasing us with Doctor Who's and not actually giving us like a proper time traveling Doctor Who's, because there's a character in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic who's got like a time turner as his cutie mark. And everyone was like, oh, it's Dr. Hooves. Ha 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 ha. But then they did an episode in the most recent season where Derpy was his companion and they were gonna like go back in time, but then he got distracted and tried to buy a suit from the Big Lebowski, but that's a different thing. So my point is I want like a proper Dr. Hooves.
Okay.
What just happened?
Sure.
Put that out there to the universe.
Just saying.
I have one that I am sort of mixed on whether they should actually do, but one of my favorite books ever is Slaughterhouse-5, and it was a film. It's actually a pretty good film.
It's a great film, I
But
think.
Guillermo del Toro was talking about remaking it, and there is something about the non-linear nature of it that like really would work in a movie, and is such a powerful story. I would like to see a new big screen
Yeah.
version.
Especially from Guillermo.
I don't have any that I want to see that I haven't. I do want to re-see Time Bandits because I haven't watched that one in a long time.
That's-
And
I love that
I
movie.
remember loving that so many years ago.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
That's the darkest ending of a kid's movie ever. Just all of a sudden, for no reason, murder. Credits.
Reality's dark. Reality's
I
dark.
know. I
true.
love it so. Kids' movies aren't dark enough for me anymore. I miss that.
Harry Potter's pretty dark.
Pretty
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Pretty dark. Was there like an alternate ending of Mr. Peabody and Sherman where it just gets really dark, like right at the end? You know, it's like, and then human sacrifice. Wait, what? What are we doing? No?
Harry Potter also by time travel in the third one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wow. No, you really want to watch the My Little Pony episode now, don't you?
I can't be honest. I can't give you an honest answer.
They did a 32 short films about Springfield episode of My Little Pony this last season, and it is the highlight of the show. It is the once more with feeling of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
There's
He talks about that show a lot.
I love
does.
the show.
He
Well,
does.
the last season's been kind of hit or miss. Anyway, Most Craved. Mr. Peabody and Sherman show is going to be on Netflix.
October 9th.
October 9th.
Check it out.
And you can watch
13
it all.
episodes.
Neat.
More on the way.
Follow us on Twitter.